Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jeffrey Darty, happy to be coming to you from an undisclosed location somewhere deep in the heart of American flyover country. And I'm joined today and happy to be joined again by Jenny Moonstone Constantine. Yes, they are one and the same. Jenny, it is so good to have you back again today. How the heck are you?
I'm pretty good. Thanks for being so gracious as to have me back.
Hey, it's my pleasure. That was a little shout out to Rex because he always asks people, how the heck are you?
How the heck are you?
And we were just talking about Rex.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking forward to being a part of LeakCon in May. It's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, that's really great news for Rex, and he's worked so hard and so diligently. He's put out you just be hard pressed to find somebody that comes out with as much content as consistently as he does. So,
Oh, there's no one. There's no one.
mm-hmm.
Now, did I meet you through Rex or through Heidi?
I want to say it was Heidi.
Yeah.
I think Heidi's the one who really brought it all to my attention. But it's fair to say it was a combination of both. I wouldn't have met Heidi if it wasn't for Leak Project. So
Absolutely. So you met Heidi through Leak Project.
yeah,
Wow, isn't that something? What a
it's wild.
it's a wonderfully incestuous little world. Usually that's a bad term, but in this case it's a positive term.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It's a lot of great fun. And speaking of great fun, I did something today that I don't normally do, but somebody, and I believe it was, I won't say who it was. They sent me this wonderful little meme. And you know me, Jenny, and speaking of Heidi, I mean, I'm not always, I voted for President Trump. I'm pretty much, I say I'm on the wall with President Trump right now, but I do support him when he does something right. I question him when he does something that I don't think is right. In fact, Heidi is taken me to task a few times for not being as supportive of President Trump as she thinks that I should be.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not necessarily a MAGA guy. Although if somebody gave me a hat, I might wear it. I'm not necessarily a MAGA guy. But I posted this today, and I'm going to share this with you because I thought it was fun. I thought it was interesting, and I just wanted to do it. And let me see if I can master the technology of getting this thing right here the way I want it. Somebody sent it to me. I thought, this is funny. I'm going to post it. And if it'll show up, I'll show everybody. It's on the wrong screen. Let's bring it over here. Have you seen this?
Oh yeah, I just saw that you posted that. How do you sleep at night knowing liberals hate you? Naked next to a supermodel.
Isn't that's hilarious?
Yeah, that's good.
And you
That's
know what? The problem with our country right now is even if you're a liberal, you should be able to look at this and look at this poor girl and look at this look on Trump's face, and you should be able to say, okay, that's funny.
it
Even
is.
if you're a liberal, all right, that's funny. And you should come back with something smart and witty. But I posted this on my Facebook, and Jenny, all I got was hate and hate and hate and hate and more hate. So, what's wrong with our country where we can't have witty repartee back and forth between each other? And it's got to be straight up hate. These people are really, really mad. And it was my favorite one, Jenny, was this Bernie supporter sent me something and about, yeah, he doesn't sleep with her and blah, 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 blah. And I said, well, basically went back and forth. But I said, there's two things that Donald Trump has done that Bernie never will. One is sleep with a supermodel. Two is beat Hillary Clinton.
Right. Exactly.
And that's why they really hate him, because he beat the unbeatable high priestess of liberalism, Hillary Clinton.
Yeah. That alone is just we all witnessed history in the making when that happened. I genuinely believe that aspects of that election were so unscripted, for lack of a better term. Everyone likes to say, they're all selected, not elected, and we'd be kidding ourselves if we said that Trump wasn't in some way groomed to be in this position. Okay, but I don't think he was ever supposed to actually win.
I don't think so either, Jenny. But what about the people that say we're crazy? He was selected. He was put in that place. You guys are just too silly to see it.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of work and strategizing went into actually getting him into office. I'm sure you know what the white hats are.
Mm-hmm.
So there is the theory that I tend to subscribe to, that Trump was approached a long time ago by the white hat operatives. They're the benevolent, sort of resistant force within the military and within the intelligence agencies, for pretty much since their inception. There's good guys and bad guys in every organization, including the government.
In
So
every race, in every party, in every neighborhood, in every family, there's good guys and bad guys.
there you go, guys. And the political sphere is really no different. It's family against family, dynasty against dynasty, superpower against superpower. So is he one of them? Is he one of the elite? Yes. But is he I think he really may be a good guy, Jeff. I really do.
Yeah, and it's just so hard to know. But I mean, when everybody hates him, Republicans hate him, Democrats hate him, everybody that's part of the deep state, big government, they all hate him, and that makes me think that he must have something going on. And you have some expertise and some background in politics. I was actually heavily involved in partisan politics. I ran a state for a major political candidate. I was invited to be a delegate to the Republican National Convention. And that campaign that Donald Trump ran in 2016, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was the single best, most masterful political campaign that has been run in history. Mm-hmm. There's no way he should have won. There's no way he should have been able to do it. And the way they did it with the strategy and the acumen and the surgical use of funds when they were completely overwhelmed, love him or hate him, that was the best, most masterful political campaign that we have ever witnessed in our history.
Dragon energy. What
does that mean?
Do you want to talk about dragon energy?
I don't even know what that is.
I don't.
Jenny's going to do some readings today too, some free readings, and I have another couple of questions to ask Jenny, and we're just going to have some fun here today. So tell me about dragon energy. Is that like that Charlie Sheen used to talk about dragon blood or whatever?
Tiger's blood or something.
Tiger's blood.
Yeah. So I really can't speak for either one of those men. I just noticed that somebody in the chat here mentioned something about dragons. Did you do a show recently on dragons at all?
I don't think so. Maybe it was another Jeff in another timeline that's spilling over into this one, and they're overlapping sometimes.
Maybe. I don't know, but it just evoked that that term that's been thrown around by Trump. They talk about dragon energy.
Trump does.
Yes.
Oh, I've never heard him say that. See, I'm not really connected politically.
He's either used that verbiage himself, or that has been used in reference to him and his energy and what he's doing.
Gotcha.
But I feel like Kanye West has used that as well. Dragon.
Oh, he may have.
So, I think all things considered, the times that we're in and the forces that they find themselves striving against, Trump and Kanye has been very outspoken in support of Donald Trump.
Wait a minute. Kanye can't support Trump. Kanye is black. It's not allowed.
Right. We can't, they're not allowed to do that. Yeah, it just goes against every rule in their dirty little handbook, right?
Exactly.
Listen, people can dislike Trump as a person. That's fine. He's probably not the easiest person to get along with, because I imagine he has pretty high standards for people that are close to him. But I just have the utmost respect for the shakeup. I mean, I love a good troll. I love a good shit talker that just is champion at stirring the pot and making weak people very uncomfortable. Strong people, grounded people, intelligent people are actually in support of Trump. That is my experience. Or at the very least, they're in support of resistance against the DNC. Okay, so either one of those things.
And Jenny, Rocky Stucci, who does a great political show on a burgeoning network, mojo50.com, is in the chat room, and he just mentioned that he's very impressed with your political acumen.
Oh, thank you very much. I think we're friends on Facebook.
Excellent. Rocky's one of the best guys that I know, and I don't know if I'd want Donald Trump to date my daughter, but it's kind of hard to argue with the way he's running the country right now.
Right. Exactly.
In fact, where is Donald Trump right now, Jenny Constantine?
Oh, is he in my neck of the woods right now?
No, Donald Trump is in Vietnam meeting with Chairman Kim or President Kim of North Korea.
Wow, that's right. Big
How
move.
amazing is that?
That is pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
I'll never forget a few years ago, we did a reading for the kind of the origins of the issues in that part of the world, the Koreas and what that interesting little rocket man was up to. And a recurring theme was the priestess, which is in terms of high government. Whenever the priestess shows up, we're looking at something pertaining to secrets, illusions. It's like a play. It's like a grand, like arena, like a tragedy and a comedy, right? That kind of a thing. So I really think that the whole drama that has played out right up until the Trump administration has all been scripted by the CIA and other agencies in the same way that a Hollywood movie is scripted and written and produced. Okay. And so Trump came in and kind of severed those ties between Hollywood and the CIA's assets over in that part of the world. And so now we're actually having real discussion about, moving forward.
Absolutely.
It's pretty remarkable.
And I don't know if you remember, Jenny, and I'm pretty sure you were on that show. It was either last year or the year before when we were all with Rex and we were doing predictions. And this is when Kim was going to nuke us and Trump was saying, my button's bigger than yours and mine works. And I actually made the statement, I'm going to wag my own tail, that before the end of the year, Trump and Kim will be sitting down man to man, face to face, shaking hands and in a discussion. And I think some of the other people on that panel are just laughing at me, but here we are. I think, what is that hashtag winning? Was that I'm by winning? Is that what Charlie used to say?
Winning. Yeah, something like that. That's the second Charlie Sheen reference you've made today.
I know.
What's going
I'm
on?
not sure. Maybe it's the glasses. But the thing that bothers me is here's Donald Trump, president of the United States, love him or hate him. He is over in Vietnam right now conducting historic business. I mean, when he came into office, we were about ready to nuke a sovereign nation. We were about ready to launch an invasion against a sovereign nation. We didn't know if he could nuke us. And here he is doing tremendously historical, practicing amazing diplomatic legerdemain. And what are the Democrats doing while he's over there changing the world? They're lining up to see how many knives they can stick in his back when he's not even around.
Mm-hmm. Oh
I
my
think
God.
that sucks.
It really does suck. And our only hope is really that we can curtail the damage of Mockingbird media and attempt to, counter their narrative with, bringing other things to light, looking at the reality of the situation as opposed to what the script that's being written for people like Anderson Cooper and, just all these talking heads. Rachel Maddow's like one of my favorites. She's just, these people are such a mess. And they're clearly in support of a very corrupt agenda. And we can really only hope that people start to wake up and see it before 2020. Bernie did announce his run for 2020. I'm so shook, for lack of a better word, that people can even consider him after watching him bow down like a bitch slave to Hillary Clinton after it came out that she stole it from him. I mean, no spine, no integrity. That was his chance. That was his shining golden opportunity to show the world, look at what these people are capable of. And he would have been successful in that moment because the world would have had eyes on him. Yep. If something would have happened to him, they just would have made a martyr out of him and it would have been point proven. But he has no backbone. He is a rat weasel, sniveling loser.
Jenny, I'm kind of offended by your strong language. I'd just rather say Hillary said bend over and all Bernie did was spread his cheeks.
Right. Okay. That works too. Yeah.
Imagine what would have happened if Bernie Sanders had the courage of his convictions, if he really was this socialist, he really was about to change power. if when they tried to steal the Democratic nomination from him, and they did, if he'd have said, no, I'm running third party, if he'd have had the guts to run third party, and I have to say this, Jenny, you may disagree, Ron Paul did the same thing. He bitched out too. He should have run third party. They didn't have the guts that Pat Buchanan had. But anyway, if Bernie would have done that, he would have blown the whole thing. Well, I can't do that because Trump would have got elected. Well, guess what, Bernie? You're a bitch and Trump is in the White House anyway. You don't deserve a second chance. And if you want to support him, wow.
Mm-hmm. I know, it's a shame, but you know what? A lot can happen between now and then, and a lot is going to happen. This next year is going to be eventful, to say the least. A lot of things are going to continue to be revealed. Mostly, I think what's gonna shock people into waking up is going to be 5G rollout and the revelations of what has really been going on in Hollywood and the government in terms of pedophilia and covering up crimes against children and human trafficking. So that's really, really, to me, at the very very top, it's just going to all start to trickle down, and people are more and more going to be unable to ignore it, even if they want to.
You know, I thought Bernie was over when he announced from his third house that people should tighten their belts financially.
Isn't that ridiculous? The hypocrisy is just.
Oh, it beggars description. Pisces 69 says, "What does Jenny think about Israel going to the moon?"
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to reserve comments on Israel because I have a lot of my own questions.
I appreciate that, Jenny.
You know, I don't want to comment too much on something that I don't really understand. And so there are a lot of things regarding Israel that remain to be seen from my perspective.
Absolutely. Now, when you do mini readings for people, how does that work? What kind of things can people ask? Is it just a general reading? How does that work if we do that right now as you're shuffling your cards?
Yeah, I just do. If they're within a 4-foot vicinity, I just grab them and start shuffling. I have calluses on my fingers just from holding my cards and working with my cards. It's pretty ridiculous. But mini readings or readings done on this platform. So you guys have seen me do a lot of readings over on channel 27 with Heidi Vandenberg. Please subscribe.
Indeed.
Really, ideally, what I would like to do is have somebody either in front of me or on the phone, or, you know, really the most important thing is that energetic connection. So we don't have that during a live reading, where all I have from you is your name and maybe a little icon. Okay, so that's where I encourage people to take into consideration the fact that these mini readings are not going to be as accurate as they would be if we were speaking face to face. But as a general rule, what I like to illustrate during live readings are 3 aspects of somebody's current situation. And one that repeatedly works and has proven to be accurate is what I ask for, or it's a 3-card spread. It's relatively simple. What I'm looking at is the internal mechanism. Okay, so we look at it as like an internal clock, and then the external mechanism, which would be the external forces, things that are taking place outside of your body, outside of your control. And then I like to do a general guidance card, so something that you need to know or something that you need to be doing, that kind of thing. And it is very interesting to make note of how the inner mechanisms and the outer mechanisms are actually interacting with each other. So are you going with the flow, or are you making life a lot harder? You know, so hopefully that makes sense, but I'm definitely open to looking at specific questions if you guys have any, you know. Uh-oh, I can't hear you.
That's because I was muted.
Oh, okay.
So is it better to have someone ask a specific question?
That would be cool. Yeah. If somebody does have a specific question, and I'll let you go ahead and choose. It's your crowd. So.
Okay. Now, can you do readings for particular situations?
Yeah.
So what, do a reading if you would, please,
Yeah.
for the Trump Kim summit.
Oh, sure. That's fantastic. Okay. Is that taking place today? Is that over the course of
They are in the
today?
midst of it right now. I think
Right
it's over a
now.
couple of 3 days.
Okay. So instead of doing the internal, external, and guidance threesome or trio rather.
Well, we started off with the sleeping naked with a supermodel, so that's not
Yeah,
out of order.
yeah. I meant to say trio, not threesome. We'll look at a couple other aspects of the situation. Okay.
Okay.
So give me a second here.
You
If
bet.
I
I'm going to write down, if I see a good question in the
Sure.
chat room that someone wants you to read, I'll write it down.
Okay. If I look like I'm spacing out or zoning out, it's just because I'm trying to concentrate. That's all.
Take your time, Jenny.
Thank you.
Moonstone Constantine.
Moonstone Constantine. Oh, wow. This is fantastic. Oh, yay. Okay. I'm excited about this. So, right off the bat, I can tell you that communications, these two people are very, very different. Okay. They couldn't, one appears to be a lot more childlike than I think we would even, we would be probably taken aback by the childlike quality of Kim. Okay, so I have the Princess of Cups, which as an archetype, this is going to reflect a person, a young person. If it's not a person, it's a situation. There's nothing soft and dreamy and watery about this meeting. Okay, so that's how I know that we're dealing with somebody's attitude. And I know that's not Trump because there's pretty much no soft, vulnerable aspect of Trump anywhere that I can find. Okay. Maybe when he was a 2-year-old, I don't know. But then in quite contrast to that, we have what I believe to be Donald Trump's archetype as it is interacting with Kim's right now. So we're looking at what they do to each other, how they interact with each other, what aspect of each other's personality is expressed or suppressed in order to come to the best agreement. Okay. And I can tell you also, as illustrated by the Two of Wands, we do have two people that appear to be synced in intention and also business ventures, any kind of enterprise. So whenever we're talking about wands, I mean, it doesn't take a scientist or a tarot expert to understand that we're talking about willpower, intent. A rod is a wand. It's a phallic symbol. So this we're talking about, and there's two. So we're talking about.
So it is somewhat of a wand measuring contest as
A
well.
little bit, yes, exactly. Okay, and that's really what it is. And I'm so glad that you could see that blatant. To me, it's obvious, blatant symbolism. There's two guys, and it is, we're talking about peace. We're talking about war. We're either talking about working together or warring together. That's very much the implications of this meeting. But when I look at Donald Trump, I have the Prince of Discs or Pentacles or coins or whatever you guys are comfortable with. But again, very bullheaded. Literally, it's a naked man being drawn by a bull. And he has a lot of power. He has a staff. He has a globe. It's a very systematic world around him. It's a well-oiled machine. So what I can tell you based from just this threesome / trio here is that there is one clearly dominant personality.
And by the way, since you were keeping track of me, that's your second threesome reference in this show.
I know. I did it on purpose.
Okay.
I'm trying to mess with you guys. Oh, I don't know if Heidi's ever, I know she talked about it on channel 27, but she has a dirty tarot deck. It's like,
oh no,
it's like
that's horrible.
Lusty tarot. Oh my gosh. It would make a great gift for the person in your life that doesn't blush very easily. But you should see their version of the Two of Wands. That was like, whoa.
I can only imagine. Only imagine.
So, I really do think that this meeting is it's definitely in favor of our guy. Whereas the other one is actually presenting, I can tell you there's open body language, there's a lot of hospitality, there's a soft kind of submissive quality to him, which is exactly what Donald Trump wants. And I think he also, especially in this circumstance, he appreciates that. I don't think he wants to fight. I don't think he wants to do the whole song and dance, because I think that this guy Kim was subjected to some stuff that we don't really understand.
Absolutely.
When I look at his energy, he really reads like more of an extraterrestrial or an alien rather than somebody that we would have any kind of normal communications with. So that's why I mentioned this childlike quality about him. It's very strange. He has a strange, like he lives in a bubble. Okay, I'm sure that's not too hard to imagine.
A bubble boy.
Go ahead.
A bubble boy.
Bubble boy, yeah.
And Jenny, it's so amazing that you said that. And I was thinking about how I could do a show about this, but I wasn't supposed to do a show because it's obviously right exactly what you're talking about. All that had to be handled. I mean, you've had Bush, W trying to deal with them. You've had Obama trying to deal with them, and each one trying to show how big and bad and tough and strong they are. And you even had Trump, saying my button's bigger than yours, mine works. But Donald Trump was smart enough to get inside the head of President Kim and realize that and he even called him Little Kim. It's kind of interesting. All that childlike personality of him wanted was to be treated like a world leader.
Yeah.
Obama, I'll never meet with him. Bush, we never meet with him. But Donald Trump says, that's the problem. So Trump says, we'll sit down. What do we want? We want North Korea to act like a responsible nation. We want North Korea to act like a regular nation and grow up. So what do? You treat him like he's a grown-up. You sit down with him. You treat him like they're a real nation. You debate, have discourse with them like they're a real nation. And what does he do? Oh, they're letting me sit at the big boys' table. And he gets all happy and compliant. And it works out. That's brilliant. Brilliant.
He's a brilliant guy. I mean, he's so
Trump is brilliant. That was brilliant. What's the word called that that ambassadors do? What's the stuff they do, Jenny? They do
the diplomatic
diplomacy.
Diplomacy, yes. Diplomacy.
And stupid Trump, arrogant Trump,
racist, homophobic
Trump has more diplomacy than Obama and Bush put together.
Absolutely. There's no question about it.
And your reading proves it.
Well, thank you. I wanted to take it a step further and look at whether or not long-term we were going to enjoy a peaceful relationship with that country. And I have the Ace of Cups, the Law card, and the Five of Wands, which, I mean, there's long-term, that's a yes. Because what this card does is it uses time as the ultimate equalizer. So if any situation, given enough time, given enough energy and intent thrown at it, it always un-Fs itself, okay? It always kind of smooths out in the end. But absolutely, we're looking at a healing process where communications are going to have to be rebuilt from the ground up, because there is such a flavor, an essence of distrust. And that really, I believe intuitively, that's on our side, from the side of the intelligence communities that have made it their business to go ahead and manipulate that country and manipulate war between those two countries. You know what I mean?
I do. And I know you hate it when I do this because you don't really track with it, but I'm going to make another Star Trek reference.
Okay.
And in Star Trek 5, Spock makes the statement, only Nixon could go to China. And only Trump could go to North Korea and pull it off. And he's doing it. And it's rather amazing. Anything else to add on that particular reading, Jenny?
No, we can move.
Let's go to a personal reading. Let's go to a personal reading for Cynthia L.
Okay.
And Cynthia wants to know, is she on track for what she is supposed to accomplish in her particular calling and situation and place in this world and time?
Cynthia,
deep esoteric question from Cynthia L.
Cynthia, is she watching right now?
She asked the question, so I have to assume she is.
Okay. All right, Cynthia, thank you for your question.
She is watching.
Okay. I feel like the trio that I mentioned earlier is going to be fitting for this. So what I'm going to do, 3 cards for your internal mechanism, external influences, and a guidance card. And we'll see how those 3 are meshing together. So give me just another minute here.
And Cynthia indeed is watching. She's confirmed that again.
Okay.
You built such suspense, Jenny.
I know. I'm working on that.
It's awesome.
No, you know what it is I've had readings done too in the past. I actually haven't gotten a reading. Heidi and I exchange readings. She's the one I get readings from. But I remember back in the day getting readings, and that 40 seconds where you hear the shuffling, you're like, oh my God. But honestly, I'm telling you, it's never as bad as we think it is. Okay. People are masters at overthinking and just emphasizing all the bad in a situation.
Which is a weird quality, lack of a quality. It's an unquality. Why do we automatically assume the worst as people? We go into these negative fantasies just off the bat. I've always been mentally deranged because I'm the other end. I'm thinking how good it's going to be, how great it can be, how happy it is.
Wow, that's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, thank goodness for that. Is I'm the opposite. I tend to think that all my worst fears are just all going to manifest in one big monster, and I'm going to have to slay it like a dragon. All right, so
Dragon reference again, and both I'm getting feedback that both Wayne Steiger and Rex did dragon shows today.
What? That's so wild.
It is.
Maybe we'll really have to think about that one. Okay.
Well, I did a show earlier about Puff the Magic Dragon, and a bunch of fuckers got mad at me. So I guess we all were talking about dragon.
Oh, I heard about that. The weed thing, the cannabis thing.
Yeah. Anyway.
I have some thoughts on that I'd like to get into in a bit.
I'm sure you would, Jenny.
So it might not be what you think. So Cynthia, I want to talk to you. Your question about whether or not you're in alignment or doing what you're supposed to be doing to facilitate, your calling, the work. Okay. I get this question 9 times out of 10. This is the question that people want to know. They want to know, am I aligned with my purpose, my life's mission, that kind of thing. And I just spoke to somebody today. Your life's mission is not just one thing over the course of your whole life. You have a day's mission. You have a week's mission. You have a mission for the month. You have a mission for a decade, that kind of thing. So as quickly as we shift in and out of archetypes each day, that's really how it is. It's by the minute kind of mission. So internally, your internal mechanism is marked by the Queen of Discs or Pentacles. Now, this is a woman who is very, and obviously this is about you. So this is about having a lot of emphasis towards your home, towards your family, a lot to do with the legacy, what you're going to leave behind. This is someone who's probably really into all things that are practical, decor, home decor, loves animals, that kind of thing. So a very practical, logical, looking to lay groundwork, create roots, lots about children. Ooh, that was big lightning bolt. Now, externally speaking, what's going on around you is marked by the Chariot. Okay. So the Chariot is this wonderful major arcanum that for me has everything. I call this the administration card. So this is all about the cabinet or the council and being at the helm of that council. So this to me would illustrate a picture of somebody who's being called to some kind of a leadership position that they may actually feel a little bit uncomfortable with, because it requires diplomacy. It requires having a kind of tact for getting people that are different to work together. So it's, again, if we were speaking face to face, there would be questions I would be asking, and I would just have a lot more data. One thing I was trying to explain to someone earlier is that my dog just reacted to the storm. People are like, well, how do you do a reading with just talking on the phone? Well, interestingly enough, Jeff, and I'm sure you might have something to say on this, is that there's a lot of data encoded in vocal tones. So when people speak, there's information in there. And
that's so good.
Yeah. And I mean, you can get visuals. You can train yourself to attune to certain visuals and frequency markers that then awaken certain, symbols in your brain. So I feel like I could teach people to do what I do. And when I don't mean read tarot, I mean do psychic work. I would actually like to one of these days create like a psychic boot camp, like a training module or something like that, because it's really so easy these days.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, I think it would be fun too. So now a guidance card. Okay, we have the Knight of Cups. So I intuitively feel like this is a person. This is a person that is somehow going to be instrumental to create some kind of a bridge between you and this leadership position or this authoritative position that is being expected of you. So I don't know if this is somebody that knows the ropes. I don't know if this is a son or a brother or a husband or a spouse that has this really deep understanding of you and perhaps can um, help you, give you a sense of confidence. The Chariot is all about confidence. But interestingly, the Queen of Discs is one of the most capable of the court cards. So I don't see you as having a super hard time adjusting. I think that there's something here about taking the first step. Okay, and that's going to require an emotional fortitude. I hope that that makes sense. And since we're not talking, it's very difficult for me to, figure out whether, how accurate this is or not. But I hope that that helps a little bit, Cynthia.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Jenny. Appreciate that a lot. And we're going to do more readings. Let's break it up just for 1 second. Let's do something. I want to show you something that I found the other day, kind of quite by accident. I did a little show about Ted Bundy and questioning whether or not he was a non-souled entity.
Oh.
And I was looking at his eyes. Cynthia says, "Thank you, Jenny."
Oh, you're welcome.
And yeah, she says, "Thank you, Jenny." And then I did a show about Ocasio-Cortez.
Oh, yeah.
And I noticed something. It's if I can still find it. Let's see if I can still find it. And it was like very jarring to me. And
I can't stand her. When I look at her, I see somebody who A, smells really bad, and B, like she's like she has a vampiric quality to her.
Well, I want to show you this, and I want you to see what you think about it. And this is, let me pull this over here where I can get us to where we can see it. Oh, come on. I'm working with 2 monitors. I'm learning how to do it. And sometimes it's easy. Sometimes it's hard.
Someone said she's a grown-up black-eyed kid, and I know exactly what you're talking about. I really know. Okay, you know black-eyed children.
I do.
She absolutely, I get that 100%. You couldn't talk sense into her if you bribed her with $1 million. She will never get it.
Oops. Come on. I just lost the picture. I'll find it again.
Yeah, but she looks like she stinks. Like legit. She looks like
you literally think she looks like she smells bad.
Yeah. I think I've known a lot of smelly girls in my life. I've gone to a lot of places. Like as a teenager, I was always sent away to like all girls type of establishments. And I know when a girl smells bad just by looking at her. She does not take care of herself. Kind of in the way that everyone says Hillary Clinton smells like cabbage and piss.
Why does it keep doing this to me? You can't see. What do you see? You just see those mountains?
Yeah, I see. They're dunes.
Now you can see this.
She's got, Ted Bundy eyes.
This is Ted Bundy's eyes. This is Ocasio-Cortez's eyes.
Cortez.
Look at that.
Yeah, she's gross.
Their eyes are very, very similar. I go out on a limb and say she is possessed by the same type of entity he was possessed by.
Yeah.
What would you say to that, Jenny?
No, listen, okay. I'd have to look into it more as to the origin of that exact entity and if they are one and the same or where that connection is. But what I can tell you is that I too have a gut reaction, instant, like knee-jerk reaction to that woman, where I am like, she is an overgrown 13-year-old boy that like peels apart animals and stuff. And like, bad things. And very Hillary Clinton-esque in that psychotic, sociopathic. And I even watch the way she speaks. I think I just spit all over my computer.
That's all right.
I watch the way I watch the way she speaks and her mannerisms. And she is a psycho. Like she is a nutcase.
You know what's weird, Jenny?
Birth.
Somebody called my attention to this after I did that show yesterday, and they sent me a link. Ocasio-Cortez, she did she was part of a dance video that Boston University did a few years ago. And the girl in that video, very healthy, very curvy, very happy. And it's not the person that's there today. And it was her.
Wow. Yeah.
Very, very weird.
Yeah. She seems emaciated, right?
Yes.
Yeah. She has lost a lot of weight. I mean, part of that could be due to stress. I just saw somebody comment that she graduated from Harvard. Now, I know I mentioned this on the last show.
She went to Boston University, too. Maybe she has a graduate degree from Harvard.
Maybe. But listen, do you remember on the last show, I told you I attended Marymount International School in Rome, and all of the staff, all of the nuns, we call them sisters, they all went to, you had to have graduated from Harvard Law to go to work at that school.
Wow. Very interesting.
Yeah. That's some
interesting.
Isn't that wild? No, but there's something about that woman that just screams like mantid being, like an insectoid creature.
I've seen one of those before.
Have you? What was that like?
It was in Pisces 69, who's a lady, wants to know if she's going to leave Canada.
Oh, is this a question?
Yeah, you can whip up a reading on that.
Is it a question? She wants
It's a question. Will I be leaving Canada anytime soon?
Okay. Pisces 69. Come on.
Yes.
Can I get a first name, please?
Can I get a first name? Hold on a second.
Is there a picture next to Pisces 69? Because that might actually help.
There is a picture. How can I show it to you?
That's fine. I'll just wait. Pisces 69. That's hysterical, by the way.
Yeah. And
my first email address ever had 69 in it. I think I was like,
her name is Anne Marie.
Thank you.
That's her first name, Anne Marie.
Anne Marie. Thank
and
you.
I was doing an exorcism when I was a regular old crazy Pentecostal preacher. And I'm doing this exorcism, Jenny, and I look over in the corner and there's this like 7 foot tall praying mantis humanoid being just observing, and it looked like it was taking notes.
Ugh, gross. Ew, God, ew. Oh, I'm so creeped out right now. I want to like jump out of my skin.
Yeah.
Ew, Jeff. Ew, go away. Go away. That's terrible. Like, that's the worst thing I've heard in a long time. I don't know why that was so triggering to me just now. Ugh.
Yeah, it was rather odd for me as well.
Odd. What did you really do?
I was busy at the time, so I just went about my business, and the next time I looked over there, it was gone.
Ugh, gross. I've interacted with the mantid beings. I don't know if I've talked about it, but I had like a mission where I was tasked with rounding a bunch of them up, and they were Hillary Clinton's group. And the moment that they found out that they were discovered, their fear and panic made them shift into mantid forms, and they grew. They got much taller. But what I'll never forget was the sound that it emitted.
Yes. Now I remember that sound. Is it a clicky?
Oh,
yeah.
There's like 6 or 7, I don't know a number, but there's a bunch of levels to the sound. It's not just one tone. It's layered. There's hisses and shrieks and screams and clicks and yells and moans, and it's just like, I'll never forget. So they realized they were trapped. We had them trapped, and they went.
They just freaked out.
Was
this a dream, or was this a real spiritual experience?
This was a real spiritual experience.
Wow.
And it happened exactly 2 years. Right now, around this time, it was 2 years ago. And in that dream, the moment that I knew it was go time, because we were on the roofs of this Southern American town. And I saw Hillary Clinton. She was at a vendor, and she got a red scarf.
Oh my.
A crimson red scarf. She took it from the vendor. She wrapped it around her neck. She was so I'll never forget, she was so carefree, like everything was great. And she cackled this wicked cackle. And I had some kind of a device embedded in my temple to where I was able to read their bodily functions, like their adrenaline and their breathing and their sweat and all that stuff. And I knew that at this moment, her guard was down the most. They were all the most docile that they would be, that they were going to get. So we were like, all right, green light. I remember my right-hand guy, his name's Smitty. And we moved in and it was intense. And I documented the entire experience because I knew how significant it was even then. And then less than a year later, people started being found hung by the Clinton cartel, hung from doorknobs with red scarves. So
wow.
All of that is documented. And I cried because I was like, oh my God, like I can't believe I saw that coming that far ahead. And that's how I knew. I didn't need any any news outlet to tell me that the Clintons were offing these people. I knew because I'd freaking seen it for myself, Okay,
Horrible.
I'm going to go back to this Canada question. I'm sorry. So typically, whenever we're talking about travel, they're very obvious markers. So it's pretty much a blatant yes or no. But in these situations, I can't stress to you enough how much of a bearing free will and choice has on the outcome of anything. So if I tell you right now, you're going to go, you could change my prediction by choosing not to go. So what I find to be more effective are the supporting factors in the situation. Is a move supported? Is that are you going to be going with the flow, or are you going to be going against the flow by attempting to move? So that's what I will do. Give me 1 second.
People are loving your work, Jenny.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. I hate the bugs. I like real mantises, praying mantises in real life, but the mantid creatures are putrid filth, and I feel like I was sent here to eradicate them. They're scared of me.
You remind me for a second of that guy in Arachnophobia.
Oh, God. I haven't seen that in a while. Okay. So, right off the bat, I can tell you that expansion and movement are definitely supported, as opposed to stagnation or some kind of a continuation of something as it already exists. And I know that we're talking about active principles as opposed to passive, because we have the presence of the Three of Wands, which is very much about rapid expansion. And quite literally, if we were talking about business or enterprise, we would be discussing opening an office in another city or traveling for work, that kind of thing. Another very active principle here would be marked by the Magician. Okay, yeah. And the Magician is all about logistics, strategy, craft, making things happen, manifesting actualities, taking something that was just a dream or an idea, making it real. And then the Princess of Discs. I think that if there is a move, this is associated with somebody's daughter. So to go leave to go be closer to female family, and something surrounding female family members.
Oh, you're getting a yes, Jenny.
Okay.
From Pisces 69.
Okay, good. So if there is, and here's the thing too, whenever we have the Princess of Discs, we are talking about typically if it's an actual person, we're talking about somebody who is either about to have a baby, or they are studying, they're in school, they're typically younger women or women that are still of childbearing age. So there do appear to be earthly feminine women associated with this. So if you were moving to go be closer to a daughter or a sister or something like that, it does appear to be supported. I can't.
You just nailed it. It's her sister.
Oh, okay, great. Well, that's exciting. I love when that happens. So
she says she is a princess.
You're the princess. Okay. Well, I love that. So when these princesses venture out, they're always seeking. They're always searching for some new, something new to study, something new to learn. It's a very practical archetype, as opposed to the wishy-washy, dreamier women like myself that are really interested in, dreams and codes and stuff like that. These women like to, they're very practical. They're all about the logistics of a situation. So I hope that helps.
Yeah, it sounds like you were right on.
Good.
And I just want to ask this person here if they have a question because they just gave a nice super chat. Revelator, do you have a question, Revelator?
Oh, Revelator's my bud.
Is Revelator your bud?
Yeah, Revelator's my guy.
Cool.
I mean, not my guy, guys. This is
Yeah,
a
I got
guy
you.
friend. I have a guy. I'm married.
Yeah, let's be make sure we get that straight.
I have to be very clear these days.
Absolutely. And just give us your feeling on this one. Mary was asking, do you think HRC will ever be indicted?
A loud voice in my head says no, but
Yeah,
I think,
unfortunately, I think you're right.
I really don't like to lose hope, but I tend to think that before this whole thing burns to the ground, she'll be long gone. And there will be so many other people that we clamor to rip apart that she will have kind of quickly made her exit. There's even a chance that any chance of any shot of seeking justice with the human vessel that is or was Hillary Rodham Clinton, I think she may have died, or that part of her that we all recognize may have been dealt with on some level a long time ago, and we're just now looking at a clone or a mock-up or just an imposter. I don't think we're going to get what we want in terms of, the show.
And I think you're so right, Jenny. And, you're the second person I respect greatly that's told me that they think that Hillary Clinton is already dead. The way to get a private reading with Jenny Moonstone is to go to jennymoonstone.com. That's jennymoonstone.com and go ahead and schedule your private reading.
Thank you, Jeff. That's so nice. So nice of Jeff to let me come on here and do my craft that I love to do and I'm so passionate about, and to use his wonderful channel and his wonderful audience as a means to, showcase what I do. So thank you, Jeff. It really means a lot to me.
Thank you. I appreciate that. April, do you have a question?
Hi, April.
April Lynn. Do you know April Lynn?
I don't. She says,
April Lynn, I'm thinking of moving too. You're reading it.
Yeah. But it would mean leaving my family. Not sure if that is a good thing for me or not. Okay, well, first things first, April, you're going to want to utilize your intuition as the infallible compass that it is before any situation. There is nothing that I could say to anyone that can override your instinct or your own intuition. Okay, so most of what I will be able to do for you right now is confirm that your own intuitions about the situation are true. So if you just give me about 6 seconds here. Typically when I do this, nobody's watching me. So this is like.
Yeah. I always thought that Hillary wouldn't go to prison or go to jail because she doesn't have any more of a backbone than Bernie, and Trump was going to use her. You do what I say and be a good girl and we'll keep you out of jail, open your trap, and you're going down.
Yeah. No, she's.
I think he leveraged her.
Yeah.
Turned her into the bitch that she is.
Absolutely. I think you're right.
We've been a little bit out there today, haven't we?
That's okay.
It is. It's fun.
Wow. It's so funny. Some of these cards are exactly the same as ones that came up earlier for other people. Again, okay, so I can tell that the job is incredibly lucrative. And so that's why I think this is my initial question is, please give me any advice there on something. Okay. So, all right. I don't want to talk about everything that's going on because when I pulled these cards, it was to look at the move for the job. But what I can tell you is that it appears that the job and the rewards of the job, the benefits, the outcome does appear to be worth it, as marked by the 10 of discs, which is acquisition of assets and property and wealth. It's it's marked by a really nice sort of completed cycle of physical attainment. Okay, so this is really the kind of thing where if you put the work in, it's going to pay off. Again, I do have the travel card, It's also the Three of Wands. This came up earlier. This is really about not compromising. So in your situation, I get the sense that a lot of this is about not compromising your vision, not settling for anything less, and really going for it. So I can tell you that, so the Queen of Discs comes up again. So this is another very earthy woman, very interested in the family, very interested in the legacy, what she's able to create, lasting wealth, something lasting for her family. So really what I'm seeing is somebody who has a great opportunity to make a lot of money and to create something that will build itself and be longstanding at the sacrifice of being around the comforts of home all the time. So you have to ask yourself if you think that it's worth it. To me, that's the bottom line. Because just to give you a contrast, I don't get any implications here that you will feel regretful or sorrowful or even a deep sense of estrangement or separation. Okay, I quite the opposite, actually. I think that you'd even find yourself imbued with a raw sense of, I can do this and I'm empowered and I can handle anything. Okay, that's the Queen of Discs attitude. So that this may even be to mark what aspect of yourself you need to channel to get that wealth. This is a very lucrative job. It looks really good from where I'm standing. If it was like just not that great of an increase, I would say I don't know how worth it is. But they're showing it. It's clear. This is a great opportunity.
Excellent. Jenny, do you see that green one right there from Crystal Luna just on an intuitive level?
Yeah. Great show. I have moving out of California. I've been wanting to for years. So can Jenny feel out? What do you mean by that? Feel out?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Do you like where he is or where he's at? Like what his feelings are?
Or if he's some type of entity. I was wondering what she meant. Jenny, as we wait for that question, as you sit here on, what is it, February 26th, we're almost ready to go into March in 2019. Do you feel more optimistic about the immediate future, or do you feel more guarded or pessimistic about the immediate future?
So it's depending on what day, it's a combination of both. There are days, and I know you feel the same way. There are days when I'm so optimistic about the future because I have faith in my friends like yourself. I have faith that.
And she does want to know what type of being he is.
Okay, we can look at that. That's fun. No, I have faith because I know that there are people out there that are willing to fight to the death and do whatever it takes to fight back. And at the end of the day, if our best isn't enough and we are still overtaken, then so be it.
Absolutely.
Then that it is what it is.
Better to die on our feet than live on our knees.
That's what I say. So even if
everyone dies, Jenny, but not everyone dies well.
I've been thinking about that. I have been thinking about that because you brought that to my attention. So I have been pondering that one, and I like that one. I personally have never feared death. I've never had a fear of my own death. I've always feared the death of the people that I love. I've always, because I look at death like, oh, so, all right, so my body will expire in some way. Hope it's quick. And then I'll be reunited with my team and I'll be like, yeah, like, I'm so glad to be back, guys. That was rough.
What's the next mission, right?
Exactly. Let's suit up. Let's gear up. Let's go. Guns loaded. Let's go.
And I think I have a feeling, Jenny, and this is probably way too old for you, but when you get reunited with your team, there'll be one of them, and it might be you, that'll take a cigar and put it in your mouth and say, I love it when a plan comes together.
I'm trying to
the A-team.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
You should watch the movie with Liam Neeson. It was pretty good.
I will. I love Liam Neeson, even though he's one of them, Hollywood. But
yeah, I know.
There's some good ones in there.
I feel the same way about Tom Cruise.
Really?
I really like Tom Cruise. I really like Tom Cruise.
You're joking.
No. And I had a personal interaction with him, and he was so cool to me. And I for some reason,
full-blown kook.
Yeah, well, maybe that's why I like him so much, because
I
I'm
mean,
pretty much a full-blown kook myself, in case you
yeah,
haven't
but
noticed.
you're grounded and you have common sense. He's a Scientologist. My God, women in his life have barely escaped him.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
So I hope your audience enjoyed their readings today. Thank you guys for your questions and being open. Not everybody is. Not everybody is. But they
And
should
tell us
know.
again where they can find you, Jenny.
Sure. So you guys can find me. My YouTube channel is Jenny Constantine. And my website is jennymoonstone.com. You have direct access to my work email, and my work phone number is there, but please don't call me. Please don't call me unless we have a scheduled appointment. That I just can't handle that, and I just won't answer. Okay, but I do answer all of my emails, all of my messages. And I just love the work that I do. And I learn so much from my clients each and every day. And clients usually become friends after a while. They just kind of keep coming back. And then after a while, it's just, I have a bunch of friends that call me whenever they need help. So it's really, really great. I'm the luckiest girl in the world to do what I do. And I'm even luckier to have friends like yourself that, are willing to entertain me and let me showcase what I do. It's a lot of fun, Jeff.
I appreciate it, Jenny. And one last thing on the way out, just off the cuff, what was in the envelopes at the Bush funeral?
Ooh. Let's look.
Oh, you want to look at it in depth?
I do.
Okay.
I'm gonna see. I want to see. I thought about that. Oh my God! Listen, these people can't be that good of actors. That some of the I've seen. Oh my God! It's like, whoo! If you've ever seen To Catch a Predator, when the color drains from the face, they're like.
I haven't seen that look on Jeb Bush's face since Donald Trump said, "Wasn't your brother president when 9/11 happened?"
Mm-hmm. The color drained from his face. These people were having full-blown anxiety attacks. They could not articulate that. So let me see if I can get.
Barbara looked like W had just called her a bitch.
Yeah. Oh, it was remarkable. What
really
a masterpiece. I know. I love it. It's just.
And W's just like, oh, darn.
Oh my God, you guys. Oh my God, you guys, this is amazing. So earlier, do you know how we did the reading for Trump and Kim and how that meeting was going? And Trump was marked by the Prince of Discs archetype. Here he is again. So this, yes. So this confirms that we are talking about Donald Trump. Okay, this was Donald. Yes. So here he is again. So this, I can tell you the nature of those envelopes originated from him. They were his doing. And we have the Tower.
Oh boy.
Which is a complete shattering of the illusion, a change of plans, unexpected, worst case scenario, people flying out the window, clamoring for the doors. And then we have the Five of Discs, which is one of the most problematic cards in the deck because this is all about abandonment and loss and betrayal and distrust and broken circles and missing things and raided homes. Quite literally, in the Rider-Waite deck, this imagery is depicted as a couple outside of a house with broken windows. They're dressed in rags. They have nothing and nobody. They've been kicked out into the cold.
And could you imagine how easy it'd be to roll W?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh, that's a beautiful reading, Jenny. That encourages me. That excites me.
Me too.
And I think I may have given up on Trump too quickly. We know he's bought and paid for. He owes some debts that he's going to have to pay. But the question that's in my mind, I know he owes some debts that he has to pay. But the question is, how much leeway have they given him to do what he wants to do as long as he gets that piece of work done they want done?
That's what I'm saying. I worked a couple of years ago. I had a regular 9-to-5 job and I worked in Boca. And there's a lot of people that worked and lived in New York City that moved down to Boca. They call it the fifth borough. Are there 5 boroughs or 6? The 6th borough.
The 6th borough, yep.
6th borough is down here. We are surrounded by New Yorkers and New York Jews and New York Catholics, and they're all over the place.
Won't retire to Boca.
Yeah, take me to Florida, Harry. Yeah. But we had a guy, he was a regular. One of his clients was Donald Trump's attorney, one of Donald Trump's attorneys. And he was telling us that the attorney is constantly stressed out because Donald Trump if he had the leeway, if he had the ability to do whatever he wanted to do, he could change things tomorrow. But they have him so wrapped up in red tape that the frustrations are just palpable because there is only so much that he's allowed to do. I tend to believe that to be true. And just the frustration swirling around being such a powerful person, the Prince of Discs, being so bullheaded and so full of willpower and intention, but to have only all these confinements, I imagine it's a very difficult thing. But absolutely, the nature of those envelopes had everything to do with a message about their assets and their money and their stuff and their circle of trust going bye-bye and up in dust, up in smoke, the tower, bad news, crappy news, unwanted news by your boy, Donald Trump.
And part of their chagrin and part of their disgust was not only is he going to do it, but that arrogant SOB handed us these at a funeral.
At a funeral.
That's classic Trump.
God, it's the troll level expert. It's just, you have to behold it. This is cosmically hilarious.
It really is.
I love
This
it.
is chess at the highest level.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the greatest things that Donald Trump has going for him is so many of you underestimate him so much.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to love it all the way to victory.
Absolutely.
Hashtag winning.
Winning.
MAGA 2020.
MAGA 2020. Listen, you love it, Jeff.
Jenny Moonstone, Jenny Constantine. Go get your reading from her at jennymoonstone.com. You won't regret it. Jenny, let's do it again real soon.
Please, let's do it.
Adios, amigo.